Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are watching episode 10 of season 2 of The Expanse. And I'm thrilled that this is not a season finale, that there are 3 more episodes to this season. And it really wouldn't matter because the season finale is like the middle of the book. Supposedly, I have no idea. But I'm assuming the middle of season 3 will get a completion to maybe one of these stories that's going on now. What's going on now? We were introduced to 2 new ships. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna butcher it, I promise you. We were introduced to the Somnambulist and the Arbogast. It wouldn't be me if I didn't ruin a ship name. They can't just name a ship Bob, can they? That one's easy. I can remember that one. Good old Bob. Got us to Mars, got us to Venus, took us to the moon. Nope. Somnambulist. So, the Somnambulist is a freighter that is headed to Ganymede, giving them aid. And the, I guess, captain of the ship, she seems like she's in charge, but Melissa is the wife of the other half of the captains of the ship, and she's spicy. She is a spicy lady. She does not take any bullshit. None of the women do on this show. There are no bullshit takers on this show. I love it. I love it. Neither are the men. But, like, definitely the women are written perfect. I love them. I love them all. So the Rossi crew kind of hitches a ride inconveniently and with force so they can get to Ganymede undetected. Obviously, their ship would attract some attention. So they're hoping that they can, hitch a ride aboard this freighter and casually just walk into Ganymede. Their plans never go the way they want them to. Melissa is, again, spicy, and she kind of puts up a little bit of resistance to it, but her husband seems to be like, let's just help them. They do mention that the local muscle will come aboard and take 10% of everything. And, that just makes Holden's like little spidey tingle. Just, you could tell he's like, not on my watch. And he ends up causing more problems than he was helping, because Melissa's husband ends up getting killed in the fray. And I appreciate Holden. I appreciate where his heart is. I know that by no means is he just trying to go in there and play the hero, but he wants to help these people who he kind of inconvenienced, but also scared and pissed them off. So he's like, if I do them a favor, then maybe it makes up for it. It does not go the way he hopes. And of course, Holden's probably going to wear that on him, and it's going to be him trying to make up for that for a while, I'm sure, because it's Holden. If he doesn't feel guilty to his core, is he even living right? Now, the Arbogast is circling Venus with Dr. Turby and Colonel Janice, who is a jackass. I do not like that guy. I don't like Dr. Turby either. But Janice is just, he's very, what is the opposite of spicy? Not even the opposite. What is adjacent to spicy? Bitter? Prickly? He's an effing jerk. I don't know. I don't like him. He's not my favorite person. Maybe there's a redeeming quality, but I have yet to see it. From the beginning, since the beginning of like season 2, I've just been like, I don't like that guy. But as they're circling Venus, trying to orbit it so they can look and see the damage that Eros did when it impacted the planet, a Mars stealth ship enters into orbit. And although they try hailing them and communicating with them, the stealth ship doesn't communicate back. But they do give them a little bit of space, but they are matching every single move they make. It's so annoying to Colonel Janice. Now, the Rossi crew kind of discover that there's a little bit of a link to the protomolecule and the genetic disease that Prax's daughter has. And Prax's daughter was being treated by Dr. Strickland, who was probably using the protomolecule to help treat? I don't know. I saw what it did to Julie, and that was just a little bit on her fingers. So I don't know what the protomolecule on Ganymede does, because he mentions that there is a magnetosphere that is around Ganymede that like kind of helps the sick. They said like, people come there to gestate. Gestate. Oh God. Here we go again. This thing does not work properly. Which is hilarious because I work in dentistry. I work on molds all day. It's broken. Wait till I tell my boss. But it kind of got me thinking that not only with the protomolecule being on Ganymede, if that's being treated differently because of the magnetosphere, the word magnet just stands out to me. And I don't know if that could also help Amos. Maybe that's just a hope. I almost said a fart in the wind, but a hope in the wind kind of thing. Like, is it just as soon as it comes out, is it getting blown away? Because I really want something to help Amos. Like, maybe he just needs like a woman that gets him. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's Naomi, but I mean like a woman that gets him. You know what I mean? Hi, Dad. Glad you watched this. Now, they eventually have to get off of Ganymede, and they have a couple plans. Plan A is to hitch a ride, and Plan B is for Alex to swoop in and pick them up. Now, those are very simplified. I understand. Very, very simplified. None of those are going to happen. Let's face it. Plan A nor Plan B is going to happen. It's going to be like Plan H. Anything that these people plan never go to plan. It goes to complete shit. Like most of my theories. But I could almost put money on the fact that I'm pretty sure their plans are not going to work. Now, the biggest standout for me was Christian and Bobbie. Christian knows that there's bullshit in Bobbie's story. She can tell. Especially, Bobbie was having a hard time with Travis being thrown under the bus. So when they question her again, she lets it slip that there was a soldier without a vac suit. And again, that gets Christian's little spidey sense tingling. And she knows that there's something more that happened than what they're telling. And I get that Bobbie needed to continue the lie. She is loyal to Mars. And she wants to keep the peace, especially in that room. She's siding with the people that have backed her. I 100% get it. I just don't like it because I really don't think Bobbie likes to lie. She seems like a straight shooter. She seems like a no bullshit kind of person, and like that she does not want to be in that position. She's already kind of challenging authority by like not wearing the sunglasses, and like you could just tell that like she doesn't always want to do what she's told because it's just not her. And I get that. I am a rebel at heart. If you tell me that you love my beautiful long hair, pixie cut next day, 100%. Not so much the older I get, but like I'm definitely a rebel. Like I don't do things just because I'm told to do them. Now, the other thing that was really interesting with Christian is that she receives this communication from Dr. Iturbi, and it is about what they saw in the crater on Venus that Eros left. There are biological compounds in the air above the crater, and the air melts lead, and there's life. And there were two little dots on the screen. What? Who? Look, there's two biological life forms that were in Eros when it crashed. Hopefully not Kenzo. But there were two that were very near and dear to me that were very important. And I don't know what that means, what biological compounds is. It obviously is not a person floating in the air. But is there like a piece of either one of them still alive? Look at me, hoping Miller's still alive somehow. Me. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. But I find that thrilling and terrifying because you kind of had Janice making fun of the fact that like, oh, do you expect to see like like little black figures or like little. What did he say? Like little green figures with black eyes or something like that along those lines of like do you expect to see aliens on Venus? No, but maybe a part of them. maybe a little piece. Because like if Eros and the protomolecule could do what it did and defy physics, what makes it any different to defying biology? Chemistry. Like all of the things. Like what makes me think that it can't survive Venus? Like, it defied physics. it's possible. At least I hope it is. And for some reason, I thought it was really important, but I wrote down Alex's lasagna. He gave that to Amos, and I thought it was really important to write it down. I hope it's important. I hope it keeps them alive, or there's like something hidden in it. Like, I don't know, a tracker, or I don't know, like, is there something important about the lasagna other than the fact that it's lasagna? My heart was telling me the food was important. Okay, guys, I'm excited to get into this because this is a longer season. This is not a finale episode. I just hit myself in the face. I'm loving. I'm loving the new people. Who am I? It's weird. The only person I don't like so far is Janice. Turby irritates me. I don't like that he has a history with Christian. Where that history is and where it lies, you know, it could be before the husband, could be during the husband. I will not be happy about that, but obviously there's history there, and I'm curious to see everything. I'm curious to see what happens now that the crew is on Ganymede. Are they going to find Strickland? Are they going to find May? I really would like Prax to get back with his daughter, but does she need to stay on Ganymede in order to survive, or is something going to happen if they take her off? Again, the proto-molecule can defy biology, so at least I think it can. I hope it can. Jesus, now I'm writing my own story. Let's just get into it before my brain explodes, all right? Get into it. That was really violent. Where are my headphones? And I think now is an appropriate time to thank everybody for all the love you've been giving Xander. He is a fantastic editor. Make sure you let him know in the comments down below all the stuff you love about him. And if there's anything you don't like, write it on a piece of paper and flush it down the toilet. Okay, Ganymede's a lot bigger than I thought it was. Look at the guilt he's wearing right there.
It was the right move. And I keep telling myself that.
If we do what we came here to do, I'll figure out a way to live with it.
Willie?
How many people have you killed?
Don't ask Amos that.
Well, I'm not a homicidal maniac.
I'm glad he knows that.
Olden and Naomi, they're not like me. They're better. I'll watch your back, but they'll find your little girl.
Straight shooter, I like it.
She's not dead.
They could both still be here.
Let's see if anyone who worked there is still around. There's a few. They're all in Ectome 9.
This way.
Oh, I'm so excited for him. Hopefully his daughter is alive.
This is where I used to work. It was beautiful.
I'll try using my imagination.
Prettier than the belt.
The MMC trains their people to believe they're invincible and that failure is an unacceptable option.
Okay, Nguyen bothers me too.
So you think she's lying?
I think she's crazy.
Still, I wouldn't mind
Screw
getting
you.
her in a room alone.
Absolutely.
She seemed perfectly sane to me, and after Eris, my definition of crazy has contracted significantly.
The point is, something was bothering her and she was ordered to suppress it. Mars is using peace as a distraction.
Well, thank you, Aaron, right?
Peace
Goodness.
is a distraction. God, I wish I could disagree with you right now. Who was the officer who spirited Sergeant Draper away? He didn't seem like the supportive type.
So unless your intention is to have us shooting at each other again, let's do what we came here to do.
She just asked for a name. No reason to throw a bitch fit.
Fucked up in there, Gunny.
I know.
I hate this guy.
A man standing on the surface of Ganymede without a vac suit. You absolutely sure about that?
It's an important detail.
Now you go home back to Mars.
And then what?
Yeah, that's
Then
what
we
she's
do what's
asking.
best for you and for the Corps.
I'd like to see the ocean before I leave,
Don't be a dick.
if that's possible.
Sorry, you're under restrictions now.
What, you mean I'm a prisoner?
No. You saw what happened when we stepped off the ship. You're breathing natural air. You're trying to orient yourself with that damned horizon.
Calm down.
The transport is coming to get you. You'll be shipping out day after tomorrow.
I don't like him. Girl, go see you an ocean. Go sit on the beach. Drink a glass of wine. Put your feet in the sand. Oh, that looks like you could climb down. That window open? Huh.
I'm not talking about soybeans. I mean exotic biologicals. Anything that shouldn't be on Ganymede.
We did a pretty thorough analysis.
I don't want pretty thorough.
Proto-molecule.
I want you to go over every goddamn molecule on that armor and tell me if there's anything you've missed. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
He knows. But what would he do with that information?
Any kind of bluish modeling or unusual heavy skin growths? Growths might have been glowing.
From what?
Jesus.
This yellowing indicates a nitrogen imbalance, which means that something got in and killed the good bacteria, which means the hydroponics have been contaminated.
Is that a hard fix?
Well, so if the hydroponics are contaminated, wouldn't the drinking water be
Yes.
contaminated?
Coward! Goddamn! Coward! Our children are out there somewhere. And you just leave?
He's there.
You done?
He came back.
If May's still with him, then maybe Katoa is too. We gotta go right now.
Hold on. Who's Roma?
He's helping all of us.
Well, that's probably the guy to talk to.
Okay, he likes chicken. Only canned chicken.
Lasagna.
I'll talk to Roma for the both of us, I promise. For May and Katoa.
I knew that lasagna was gonna be important.
Sit down.
What's going on, buddy?
I think she did see something on Ganymede.
Is he actually going to tell Christian?
I believe that Ganymede was a test of a new weapon that Jules Pierre Mao is developing for Mars. Based on technology he unleashed on Eros. Because I was working with him.
I mean, she knew, but...
You've known for a while.
Yeah.
Ever since you had Frank de Graaf killed.
I know it makes no difference, but I had no hand in that, Christian. This started out as a conversation about peace, about the discovery of this incredible proto-molecule on Phoebe. If I had known what was going to happen on Eros, I would have stopped the project and Jules Pierre Mao along with it, and you know that!
Eros nearly destroyed this planet. You will have to answer for your part in that.
I know.
I'm very proud of him right now.
This is everything that I know about the proto-molecule project. If Ganymede really was a test, then it's just the beginning.
I'm very, very proud of him. Didn't expect that. You know what? Purple Heart, give her freedom. Nice catch. Yeah, girl. Don't get dizzy and fall. Oh my god. I'm so excited for her. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna make it to an ocean. I'm just excited for this whole excitement for her. And then just slide down the slope. It's okay if you throw up at the end. You're from Mars. We all understand. Oh god, don't fall. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, Bobbie. Oh, she's durable. Damn. Okay. You'd think that gravity probably would have taken her out.
Son, Katoa, and May have the same genetic disorder. They met under Dr. Strickland's care.
It's weird that they have the same genetic disorder.
Get out!
Oh. Oh.
What you want, Pampa?
Things we have to do for food, huh? Oh, hoarding everything.
This guy just wants to find his little girl. She's sick.
Don't fuck with Amos.
What I want is chicken. No chicken, back of the line.
No! Stop! Look at Holden going like, yeah, well, all right.
He can't find me if you bash his head in! What's wrong with you?
Are you gonna help us?
Absolutely. I find little girl. Pro bono.
Thank you.
Okay, so lasagna is off the table. Such a moron. I just thought to myself, Gunny needs some sunnies. I hate myself for the joke.
Excuse me, do you know the fastest way to the ocean?
For 50, I do.
Just follow the seagulls.
My source inside the Martian embassy just informed me that there's a lot of activity around Sergeant Draper's quarters. Because she's no longer in them.
Make sure they're stopped frequently by the local authorities and checked for proper identification.
My pleasure. Are we information sharing with Aaron right now?
I'll tell him later.
He kept a big secret from her.
I'd forgotten how it felt to be fighting for the good guys again. I like it. It's nice.
She's a good guy, I think.
Don't take it personally. The clinic stopped giving Peter his meds 2 months ago. Makes him forget his manners. And his reality sometimes.
Yeah, not manners, definitely reality.
You're Martian, aren't you? It's the way you're walking.
Unstable.
You'll have osteo-X. Give me what you can spare and I'll tell you how to get to the ocean. I can trade that and get a month's supply of meds for the kids who've been exposed to radiation from the drive plant. And I can probably get a month's supply of the new chloroquine. It'll save some of us from dying in the summer when we're forced to drink sewer water.
Jesus, is that true?
Wouldn't matter if I said it was.
So, you're a doctor?
I put myself on the vocational training list when I was 17 years old. I'm 52 now. Still waiting for my slot.
Wow.
Everything we've been told about Martians is probably garbage anyway. That you're all a bunch of robots with no souls who just like to conquer shit.
It's close. Show her the ocean.
Go back the way you came. Until you see a drainage tunnel on your right.
Got it.
Nico.
Nice to meet you, Nico.
Now you.
Crazy that you have to practice standing. I wonder if she's going to use that in the future. Like every time she does something on Earth or the belt or wherever. Holden always has stink face.
I would have stopped him before it went too far.
Every shitty thing we do makes the next one that much easier, doesn't it?
You said you weren't a homicidal maniac.
You didn't kill him.
I didn't kill him. Not yet. He's a bully. And where I come from, bullies take desperate young girls like your daughter and force them into prostitution. And when they finally get knocked up, they peddle them to Johns who get off on that. And those kids, they use them too. Some people deserve to be punished.
Wow, Amos.
I felt almost relieved. She was sick her whole life and I couldn't fix her.
Are you asking me to tell you that's okay?
No.
I know it's not.
Where does that go?
Did you notice the Ipomea batatas on the green wall?
The what?
I'm sure that I did not.
When that happens, they won't be able to stop the Cascade.
What's the Cascade?
Yeah, what's the Cascade?
So it's not the thing that breaks you that you need to watch out for.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, but Ganymede's the most important food station out here. They're not gonna let it just collapse.
The station's
Maybe they're
dead
planning
already.
on it.
They just don't know it yet.
Well, that's sad. What are you doing, Alex? He drinking. This sounds like drinking music.
Did you ever see a rock?
He sure is. He does look like a guy that'd be fun to like hang and have a drink with, though.
I could cry.
Not like doing a shooter a little bit.
On some whippoorwill, he sounds too blue.
Are you gonna do target practice? What is he doing? Oh, that's fun. You missed some.
Further notice, any unauthorized ships entering or leaving the zone is fired upon without warning. This is an MCRS priority alert.
Especially because the station's dying. It's not the place you don't want to be able to not fly out of.
Those parts of the station still be okay, so maybe they still be okay too.
They're leaving, aren't they? Oh, Rex. Where's the little boy? I've never been so excited for somebody to see the ocean. I wouldn't put my feet in that part. I just said no. Oh, there's things floating right there. You can see it. It's probably a toxic waste site. Oh, R.I.P. Lopez. Did you bring a bottle of wine, Christian?
You take it for granted.
You're right about that. Here. This is what attacked you and your team, isn't it?
That is terrifying.
By your own government.
Fuck you, ma'am.
Sergeant, I wish to God it was my government. Then I would have some control over the situation. I need your help.
This has to be a mind game. You are the enemy.
We cannot
Is
afford
she?
to be enemies anymore.
Bobbie's not gonna forget that. Cotillard is good, got her out in time. I really thought the lasagna was gonna play in there. Maybe it still will. Nothing is introduced for no reason. I really thought that would be a bargaining chip. Maybe it'll be something that they'll have to eat instead of eating the yellowing plants, which is disturbing that people are now eating those plants, that they are not getting the proper minerals that are being put in them. And I imagine that that's not good to be consuming. Although I feed my plants distilled water, so I don't know if that's good or bad. According to Prax, it should have minerals in it. I don't know. I've got a Monstera that is huge next to me. You can't see it. Anyway, I'm worried because if Prax is saying that the station is dying and that there's only a couple more weeks left before the Cascade occurs, and like there's a no-fly zone now over Ganymede, how do they leave? How does Alex get to them? Obviously, they're probably going to have to steal a ship because it's our crew. I am worried. I am worried. The scenario to get off of Ganymede is now complicated. Now, I'm not sure where Strickland and May were going. They were with a woman, and they didn't have, I don't know if it was Coda was the name of the little boy, but he was nowhere to be found. I'm happy that Prax saw his daughters alive, but the fact that it's kind of the end of the road where surveillance can go. They don't know what's beyond that door. He may not. The interactions that he's having with Amos, pretty much like asking Amos if he's a homicidal maniac, and Amos just being like, I didn't kill him. I mean, he was stopped. If Prax hadn't mentioned his daughter and saying we can't find her with his head bashed in, I don't know if that necessarily would have stopped Amos otherwise. But the story of, the kids being put into prostitution, or the women being put into prostitution, and then kids being born, and then, men having their way with them. Not probably just men, but, like when you think of prostitution, that's what you think of. Again, Amos is too close to that whole lifestyle for my comfort. That poor little boy, that poor wounded child that's inside of him. It breaks my heart. And I do understand when Prax says, that like it was almost a relief for him that if his daughter was gone, then, that meant that she wasn't sick anymore. And anyone who's ever had to watch a family member die of like cancer and wither away, they eventually are not themselves visually, mentally. Like when you talk to them, like they're not there anymore. So sometimes the relief of that person dying, it's not that you're happy that they're gone, because they're already gone. But you're relieved that they're no longer suffering. And I know that he said he feels that he failed as a father. And I think a lot of men in families always put themselves in this position to feel like their job is to make sure that their family is happy and healthy and taken care of. And he feels like he failed as a father because she's been sick her whole life. Now, it's really curious that her and her friend have the same disease, which is just really interesting. Because I don't know if that's, I don't know how many people are on Ganymede, but the fact that they were both sick with the same thing is very curious. Especially because I'm thinking that they have the same food source, the same water source, same pediatrician. It's sus. And especially because, we heard in the last episode that if the proto-molecule can defy physics, then I feel like it can defy biology. I'm not sure if that's true, but it feels true. Bobbie escaping and getting to go to the ocean was emotional, and it was sad, and it was happy at the same time, because here she is witnessing this thing that Lopez didn't get to witness, that Miller didn't get to witness. And, she really had to work hard to get there. She meets Nico, who helps her and kind of does a little bit of a trade for, the drugs that she has to take to even be comfortable on Earth. He can trade that for medication to make other people comfortable on Earth. Interesting. Different drugs doing the same thing. The fact that he was put on a vocational list when he was 17 and now he's in his 50s and still has not been taught for a job, that is upsetting, that Earth is in that state of affairs. That the people of Earth, that there's not enough jobs to go around for people to prosper. But he's making a way. He's being the doctor that he can be, which is honorable. What a crazy view of Earth. That makes me really sad. And then, of course, Bobbie pointing out to Christian, you take the ocean for granted, and Christian being like, yeah, I do. It's really easy to take things for granted when it's always there, like the air we breathe. And it's funny that I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, so you guys know, the whole water thing, my family wasn't really affected by that, but you take clean water for granted. It really puts things into perspective of how bad it could possibly be. Now, Christian also shares the information that she now has on the protomolecule, that she has now learned about the protomolecule from Aaron Wright, who came clean. I didn't like Aaron Wright, and I loved that kind of he got knocked down a few pegs by Jules Pierre Mao. of pretty much saying like Christian's not an idiot. She knows what's going on, you know, and Christian moving the chess pieces around him the whole time, kind of just cutting him off, and him sharing that information and him being open and upfront about it. Like, he knows that like he could spend the rest of his life in jail. But there was definitely a change in him, and I noticed it the last episode when Bobbie mentioned the soldier without a vac suit, that like there was a look on his face, and I was like, wow, that was really weird. And then this episode, that look continued, and him supporting Christian into talking to Bobbie, and him coming in and giving her that information, like he pretty much strung up his own noose on a tree, and he kind of just doesn't care because he wants to do what's right for Earth. That's so fucking honorable. I hate to say that about Ehrenreich. I don't know what his side motives are, if he has any, but I'm happy that now Christian knows about this proto-molecule and knows about Eros. And now she knows that Eros and Venus might also have something going on with Ganymede. There's a lot that she has now learned in this episode. So like, you know, like when I read the title of the episode was Cascade, I figured like that could possibly be, you know, everything tumbling down. And then when Prax describes the cascade of everything tumbling down, there's a lot of parallels in this episode. You know, even Bobbie kind of like being able to go and mingle with the people of Earth and learn about that from Nico, and then go to the ocean. Like, her view on Earth has probably changed a little bit as well. You know, she still told Christian to fuck off, which I was like, hey, I don't like it, but I like it, if you know what I mean. I like that she's not intimidated by her, and I like that she just also doesn't fall for her. I probably would. But there was a lot of things that cascaded in this episode. One that I don't kind of want to graze over is kind of Holden letting Amos be the thug, you know, letting him beat up that guy, Roma, which all I could think of was tomatoes the entire time. It was really bothering me. But, you know, like, Holden's changing. He's becoming someone else, and he's more open to the idea of violence. He's more open to the idea of kind of any means necessary to get the job done. And Naomi points that out to him. She's like, just one more worse thing to make the next thing easier. And she has a very valid point, you know, like, it's a slippery slope. It's a cascade that you could fall down very easily. And, you know, he's just always got that look on his face. He's either looks like he's in pain, he's sad, he's angry, he's guilty, or he's just meh. He's a grump. I struggle with Holden. I like Holden, but like, I just want to just be like, do I need to tell you a joke, son? Will you smile? And I'm really wondering about Captain Martins, because he was pretty harsh to Bobbie, and I don't trust him. He looks untrustworthy. Like, he's just got that face, which is not very fair to that actor, but like, he just doesn't look like a good guy. He's got an agenda, which most politicians do. I'm not shocked. Oh, that's how I know him. Saw 6. Peter Outerbridge was in Saw 6. He's probably the only character I've ever been sympathetic with in all of the Saw movies. Kinda. Not at first. Didn't like him at first. Very much an insurance guy. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But now that I've placed him, I can fuel more of my hate towards him. Okay, guys, the full-length reaction for this episode will be available on my Patreon. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. But remember to like, subscribe, get notifications so you know when the next episode comes available. The next 2 episodes will actually be available on my Patreon. Sorry, Xander, for working it to the bone. There are also reactions to Marvel shows, Star Wars shows. Actually, Andor is starting, which Rogue One was probably my favorite Star Wars movie. That and Empire do a switch. It just kind of depends on my mood. I'm very excited about that. Also watching The Sandman. All of season 5 of Cobra Kai is currently available. So, you know, mingle around, click on some things. If you don't even like it, hit like anyway, because I like you. You should like me, right? Okay, guys, I'll see ya.